Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. So I have come up with a collage formula to help myself when collaging so that I know exactly what things to use and what to put where. And this makes it easier for me. The whole collaging process is not as messy and it doesn't take as long because I don't have to overthink things. So looking at these, they all look completely different and individual, but I've actually used the exact same things in the exact same order. And that's what the formula is all about, and I'm about to share this with you. It's nothing complicated, it's quite simple really, and it gives you a starting point. And once you know what you're doing, you're not going to need any type of formula. And after a few that you make, things are just going to come naturally to you. But until then, this is going to help. So in terms of using these, obviously you can do something like this in your junk journals, art journals, but I made the individual pieces because I think they look really nice on book covers and journals that I make and sell. And they look really, really nice, and they actually look quite nice framed too. And look at this in your journal. How beautiful does that look? The whole thing can be an art journal made of collages and little individual art pieces. All right, well, let's get started with that formula. Okay, I am going to make 3 on screen today. I'm going to use black paper, white paper, and blue paper that's been coffee dyed. So this is going to be my base. Your base can be a page in your journal, right? The next thing that I need is some craft paper, and I'm actually using this paper that's come from some packaging, from some orders that I had. It can also be paper bags and things like that. Anything that's, you know, this kind of color and maybe it's got a little bit of texture, you can maybe scrunch it up. Just gives it another dimension. Next thing we want is some book pages. Another thing we want is some pretty paper. Now, a lot of things can fall into this category. So it can be like handmade paper like this. It can be a doily. These work really, really well in collages. Maybe some wallpaper. This isn't actual wallpaper, but it looks like wallpaper. So something that has some sort of an effect, preferably even some texture, something that will stand out and look a little bit different. Then we just want some plain paper. I have used this one in all of the collages that I've just shown you. So it can be just plain paper, it can be lined paper, it can be coffee dyed paper, you know, whatever. And then probably the most important thing of the collaging process is a focal point. So I've already chosen some for this video. We can have some die cuts like this, magazine images. This is from a book, this little angel. So you can get, oh, why am I holding this? This is also a fussy cutout from a book or a magazine, I can't remember. Then I'm going to use one of these little guys. I showed this in my last video. I got it from Stationery Pal, and it's full of these amazing images which make collaging so much easier. Look at this one, beautiful. I mean, I can use either one, but I'm going to use this one for this video. So those are the 5 main elements, and then we're going to place them down, and then you might want to use some quotes, some sentiments. This is a sentence that I cut out of a book page. And having something like this adds more interest to your collage piece. And then over here, I've got extras such as washi tape, stamps, letters. I'm going to use some of my washi tapes like this, maybe. And then let's see, maybe what this is on my desk. Let's see what else. This is on my desk. I don't know if I'm going to use this because it doesn't really go with anything. But, you know, circles, shapes. Maybe some like random numbers like this. I haven't used any of these yet, but all of these extras will give more interest, obviously, to the collage. But these are all optional. The main thing that we need for now are the first 5 and perhaps the sentiment. And all of these other things can just be sprinkled on top if we feel like it at the end. So I am going to begin collaging, and I'm going in this exact order. All right, so my base is here laid out ready, and I have just ripped down some of that craft paper. I'm going to place it down, and I want uneven edges. And a lot of this is going to be speeded up as well. My next section is some book pages that I have also ripped down to have that uneven edge. My next step is some pretty paper, so I might use a doily on this one here, and then some of this pretty paper on these ones. But this one has straight edges, and it's very hard to rip actually. So I'm just going to use my zigzag scissors to get a bit of an effect on those edges. There we go, that's looking good so far. My next step, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm going to put this up at the end so that you can see, but it's not fitting into the screen now. All right, so after the pretty paper, my next step is some plain paper. So I'm just using this, and I'm just going to use the same for all three. And I'm actually keeping this one, strangely enough. I'm not going to rip into it. I'm going to keep those straight edges. All right, so I've just placed that down. Nothing, I'm not committed to any placement yet. I can still move this around because I haven't really glued anything down yet. And my next step is the focal point, and I'm going to use some of these things that I have chosen. So I'm going to use this one on the black there. I'm going to use the angel over here and the butterfly over here. And I also wanted to use this one because it goes really beautiful with the blue. So something like that. And now what I do when I'm at this point is I'm just going to maneuver things around and place them how I want them, and before I glue everything down. The main thing that I sort of keep in mind when collaging is that the focal point is not in the center. I mean, it can be, it's no big deal, but I think it's nicer if it was in one of the corners, like in, you know, around these 4 points. So it can be down here, can be over here, or over here. So we are trying to create a sort of pathway for the eye to travel. So the eye always goes to the focal point, and that's why I'm trying to find where I'm going to place my focal point. So far, I'm actually liking how this looks. The only thing is these white pieces of paper are really standing out. So I'm going to have to keep adding something there, make it less obvious, right? I'm liking this one as it is. And I think for this one here, I might, you know, just play around with displacement just for a little bit. If I like that, maybe I want to add a little bit more. I think that looks better. So for this one, I've added 2 of the pretty paper, right? I can add a doily too. Like, this is the good thing about collaging. Once you start, you know, it's just like that looks good too, you know, but I like it better like this. But I want to also get rid of these straight edges here. Now I am going to glue everything down. But I am also going to be using a sentiment for each one. So before I glue everything down, I want to kind of see where I will be putting the sentiment. So I have this Tim Holtz book of little sentiments. I like this one here, don't forget to fly, because I guess you want the sentiment or the phrase that you use to somehow go with whatever the collage is, right? I'm just kind of loosely placing it down. And I think for this bird, because it's kind of looking back, I'm going to use this one here that says see possibility everywhere, and that might go somewhere there, we shall see. But I've got these 2 ready, and I'm going to apply them when everything else is glued down. And I also wanted to apply some of my beautiful washi tapes that I have from the washi tape shop, and I'm going to do this after I've glued everything down. But before I glue everything down, I want to ink the edges, because I just want to show you, I'm going to do all of the inking off screen so that we're not wasting time, but I just want to show you how inking the edges actually makes everything stand out, and it gives so much more dimension to the piece. So you can see straight away how much that added to this piece. All right, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to ink literally all of the edges. Including the book page. I might do this at the end, the actual base, and then I'll be back. These little plain pieces of paper, I sort of go over them completely so they're not so starkly white. I mean, they can be, but you know, I like this look better than this here. I mean, it's not such a huge difference, but that's what I've been doing with these. And if you're using coffee dyed paper, then even better. And also I ink the doily as well. So they're quite, you know, fiddly and delicate. So I just put it down and go over it with my ink blender. Here we go. Okay, so everything is inked and ready to be glued down, which is my next step. I'm going to glue everything down. A good thing to do is to take a photo at this stage so that you know where you want to be placing things once you're happy with them. And then remove things and start gluing them down. I just want to go back to the focal point for a moment, because I don't think I mentioned, when I'm thinking of where I want my focal point to be, I think about it this way. So if you divide your page into 3, I mean, I didn't really do this well, but you get the idea. So I'm dividing it into 3 this way and into 3 this way. The focal point should be somewhere around here. I mean, I don't think it should be, but it usually works if the focal point is not here in the center, not here in the corner, or here in the corner, you know, but we're looking at these 4 areas. I hope that's helpful. It has been helpful to me. So you can see when, for example, when you look at this piece, the eye immediately goes to the eyes, and those eyes are in this section here. So that's kind of what I look at. The butterfly, the eye will immediately go to the butterfly. And then when we add other things like the sentiment, for example, what happens is the eye travels straight over here, and then you want it to move elsewhere. So it might go to the sentiment. If I put something here or here, the eye might do this. It will go here, then it will travel up here, then it will travel there. So you want to create a story, kind of, I guess. All right, so for the gluing, I think I'm just going to do one on camera. It will be speeded up, but just so you can sort of see how I'm gluing things down. So basically, I'm going to take everything off and glue everything piece by piece. And I know sometimes people glue from top down, so they will glue the first piece up the top. For example, let's look at this. They'll take this and they'll glue that to that, and then I don't know. I don't actually know how it works, but this is how I do it. And I'm just using a tacky glue or PVA glue. It does warp the paper. This glue that I'm using does warp the paper a little bit, but it doesn't bother me because it's a collage. I don't mind that effect, and I also do lay it under something heavy. All right, my next piece was the book page. I didn't take a photo, so I'm not entirely sure where I'm supposed to place everything. And it's because I am filming with my phone, so I don't have a phone to take a photo with. So I'm just gonna have to wing it. All right, so next I'm going to place the doily. And I'm just trying to work out, because I didn't take a photo, I'm not sure if this was underneath, like so, or if it was on top, or I don't actually think it matters, but I think I'm going to put it underneath. Someone actually left a comment recently on one of my videos about collaging, how it's, you know, totally messy and a waste of time. Something like that, the comment went. I don't really like how this is looking. I'm noticing something here that I haven't noticed before. I'm noticing this section here and I'm not liking it. So anyway, this person said something like, you know, how collage is messy and it takes too much time and it's pointless or something like that. And I thought it doesn't have to take too much time. If you just, you know, place a few things down, it's done. It can really be done in 5 minutes. So that's that one, but I'm really not liking this section here. So I really need to come up with something before everything dries. And I'm just improvising here. This will do. And the thing is, back to the collage thing and that comment, collage is one of the things that I can't do, and I'm always trying to find, you know, I see all this wonderful work that other people do, and I think with a bit of practice I can do it too. And these ones that I made, I actually really like them, the ones that I showed you. And I thought, you know, if I had a proper formula, I keep calling it a formula, but I guess it is a formula. If I know exactly what I need to use, this paper, this paper, this paper, and then put the focal point down, and, you know, it will just make it easier for me. So that's why I'm doing this, because I am learning, and hopefully, you know, it's working, and hopefully it's helping you guys. This one is glued down. So now I have to glue the other two. I might do that off camera, and then I will come back and we will finish these off. All right, so everything is glued down, and now all I have to do is add some finishing touches. So I might be using some of my washi tapes. I have to use these sentiments just to add, you know, more meaning to the collage. And then I might use a stamp here and there. I'm going to do all of these individually so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I might start off with this black one. So as you can see, this one here, it's definitely missing a lot. It's missing life. It's very empty looking. So I'm going to start off with perhaps adding a little bit of washi tape. You can use like pretty scrapbook paper or, you know, whatever you have on hand. This is washi tape from the washi tape shop. And I'm just ripping the edges, and I might rip the edge up the top as well, just so that I don't have those very straight lines. And if you do go to the washi tape shop, I have a code that you can use. I think it's Treasure 10. I'm going to link everything down below. So I'm placing this maybe somewhere over here. And you can see that I'm leaving all of these layers visible underneath. So now I'm going to add a sentiment here. And it was this one that I decided to go with. See possibility everywhere. And of course, I'm just going to get rid of that stark whiteness and just apply a little bit of glue. Make sure it stays down. And I might put it, I don't know, maybe I should put it here. Or maybe in the middle. Really, anywhere I put it, it will look okay. But I think I'm just going to put it over here for now. Well, not for now. It's glued down now, so it's staying there. So that's already looking quite rich. I think now this area here is very stark and it needs something. So maybe I can add a stamp. And this is the scary part, because if I mess this up, then, you know, I have to come up with solutions. That looks good. And then maybe one more here. So now you can see all of these things that the eye looks at. So we go over here, we're looking at the details there, the stamp, the sentiment. And now I think I need something over here. So all of these are little details that we're now adding. So maybe I can use my punch to get some circle shapes, you know, and put them around, sprinkle them sort of, you know, around wherever I think they're gonna look nice. But I also have a little bit of this gold paper left, so I think these butterflies are going to look nice. I know it's going to work. And now I'm seeing this here, which is in this handmade paper. I haven't noticed that before. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's messing with my butterflies. Because this here, I haven't noticed that before, and now all I'm seeing is this. But the whole point of this exercise is just to put things down and not overthink. So I'm just going to glue that there and be done with it. And here we go. I'm quite happy with how this one came out. So, you know, I could kind of keep going and maybe I could add a little bit of this over here, but I don't want to make it too cluttered and too busy. And I think I'm going to leave this one as it is. I just need to, I'm going to round the corners. And then because it's black, I want to emphasize the edges somehow. And I'm just going to use, I don't know what this is. It's nothing special. It's just a gold pencil. It doesn't actually look gold on white paper. And that's why I'm saying it's nothing special. It just looks brown or beige. But I'm going to use that to emphasize the edges. So I'm just going to apply a little bit all around. And there we go. It's not really showing there, but when I put it against the black cover, then you can see that, you know, you can see the edges. It's not blending in completely. All right, there's that one. And I followed the same kind of thing that I did on this one here, so you can see the similarities. I've just kind of changed the placement of the sentiment, and you know, the way everything is ripped and the size of the book pages, all of these things differ, so they all do end up looking a little bit different. Okay, now I'm going to do this one, and I said I'm going to use this sentiment, don't forget to fly. I just want to work out where I'm going to put it. This here looks like a really good place for it, I think. So now I can decide. And when you're having trouble deciding with any collage, then they say if you turn it upside down, it would make, you'll straight away see. I think the issue is that I didn't ink the edges and it kind of doesn't look like it belongs anywhere. I think I'm going to put it here. And I'm thinking if I just add something like this, is it taking away from everything? If I do a thinner washi tape, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, because I feel like perhaps it balances everything out a little bit better, because now there's something happening in this corner as well. Not everything is happening over here. Okay, I'm going to finish it off by rounding the corners and inking the edges, and then I'm going to decide if I need anything else. You know, I think I'm going to leave this one as it is, but I'm just adding a little bit more inking. And there we go. I'm pretty sure that that one is done. I don't need to add anything else. And now my very last one, this one here. I'm going to add washi tape to this one, and I think this washi tape is perfect. Just added a little bit of glue. And now to balance everything out, I want to use a little bit of washi tape up here, but I want uneven edges. There we go. And now I'm going to add a sentiment. So I'm going to use black, something black, because there's black in the butterfly. So let's see. Maybe this one is good. Collect beautiful moments. And I'm going to put it right over here, just like that. And then of course this white paper is so stark. First thing I'm going to do is ink the edges. And then maybe I can add some little extras like this. Just maybe get some of these circles. Here we go. I've added little circles here and there. And now another thing that we can do is add some corners over here. If I had enough of this left, I would just cut a little triangle like this and glue it in all of the four corners, but I don't have any of that. So I'm going to use these ones. They are gold photo corners. I got them from some second-hand shop years ago. And I've been hoarding it because it's pretty cool. So I'm going to use those. Here we go. I think these gold corners finished everything off beautifully. And it's always those little last touches that make everything work and ties everything together. So those are my three pieces. I will be leaving this under something heavy so that it dries nice and flat like the other ones did. I think this one here is my favorite. Even though on screen it's coming up really, really white, it's actually not so stark in real life. And then I would say this one, and then my third favorite would be this one here. I'm going to show you these other ones that I've done in just a little bit more detail, and then I will put that formula up for you. So you can use the focal point as a book plate, which is what I did on this one here. And I actually think out of all of them, this one is my favorite. And you can see that I've done the exact same thing as I did on all of these other ones. We have the craft paper, we have the book page, we have a doily or pretty paper or whatever. Here is my focal point, which happens to be a book plate. And then I have washi tape here and a die cut there. So this one actually has, you could say, two focal points, this one and this one. So it was a little bit hard to kind of place it so it's not, they're not competing with each other. But overall, this is my absolute favorite one here. This one is my least favorite out of all of them. I kind of didn't even want to show it, but I mean, it's not too bad. It's just got too much stuff happening. I have this picture here and it was too dark, and then I went and added more little things and it just wasn't working. Then I added this washi tape here and here. It's still okay. It's not bad, but out of all of them, it's my least favorite one. This one here, I've just used a cutout little rose from I'm not sure, some flower book or something like that. You can see the elements exactly the same as all of them, right? And I have a sentiment here that says grateful, and I've just added the washi tape, and that's it, done. And it's quite nice. I quite like this one. Very simple. This one here, we've done the 5 elements, and then I've added a stamp and some little butterflies here, and it says you are so lovely. He's looking at her, and you know, I was kind of looking for sentiments that go with whatever is happening in the focal point. Unless it's something like this, a flower, like grow would be nice, or something, or blossom or bloom or something like that, but I didn't have anything like that, so I used grateful. This one here is just pretty much similar to what I've done over here. Oh, and look at this. Just realized when I put this on a black back, look how beautiful that looks. But yeah, these two are quite similar. I used pretty much the same thing. You can see the gold corners. You can see all of the elements, the butterflies, the sentiments, the washi tape, pretty much the same. And then these two here I've already shown you as well. Pretty much did the same thing on both of them, apart from changing where I put the sentiment, and the washi tape looks a little bit different, but pretty much the same thing. Putting things down, it just seems so easy, but probably to some people it is very simple and straightforward and they can just do a collage in 5 minutes. But for me, I was struggling. So this is why I'm here today, because I wanted to share the formula. I keep calling it a formula. I'm not sure if that's what you would call it, of, you know, the process, right? So I hope that you have gained something from it. Please let me know. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to place the formula on screen now so you can take a screenshot. I think after doing these 8 or 9 or 10 collages that I've done, I feel more confident now in adding extra pieces. So instead of using just one piece of pretty paper, right, I can use 3. So I can do the doily, I can do the handmade paper, and I can do, you know, like something like this, wallpaper. So what I'm trying to say is that now I feel more confident in adding more and more layers rather than just having, you know, 5. I can have a lot more, right? But anyway, this is my collage formula. I hope that it was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!